Welcome to another edition of Build Order Tutorials. This time it's going to be a Protoss versus Terran build order, a very solid one that you can use basically against anything to improve on your mechanics. It's going to be a solid Twilight Council and Robo opener, the typical opener that you're seeing in most pro games, so let's get into it. Pylon. Chrono boost. Go to gateway and use that probe to scout. Slap down an assimilator. Put one probe into the gas. Send a probe down to your natural. Build a Nexus at the natural. Build a cybernetics core. A second assimilator. Fill your first assimilator with all 3 probes. Build a pylon. Fill your assimilator with all 3. Start warp gate and a stalker and chrono boost the stalker. Get another stalker and chrono that as well. Build a robo. Build another stalker. Go to Twilight Council. Chrono the Nexus. Build a pylon at the front. Remember not to get supply blocked from here on out. Build an observer and chrono boost that. Build 2 gateways and start blink, chrono boost blink. Build a 3rd assimilator at your natural. Send a probe to your 3rd. And around 4 minutes, you're going to want to build your 3rd Nexus. Turn your gateway into warp gate. Build another observer. Get a forge. Chrono boost blink. Around 5 minutes, get 5 gateways. Build 3 sentries. Get +1 attack and chrono boost that. Chrono boost your Nexus once as everybody finishes up. Start charge and chrono boost that as well. Get 2 gases. And just continue to macro. There are a lot of strengths to this build. It's a really safe, solid build for beginner PvT or master PvT. I mean, it works on all levels, and if you are in the lower leagues, it will help you improve your mechanics as you follow along. It provides great scouting. That Robo is early enough that you will get the observer over there for most openers of a Terran. You can see if they went for Hellions, see if they went for a drop, or maybe something else that's kind of weird. And also, it provides you the ability to provide more observers as time goes on to cover all avenues of attack. You can adapt to early pressure with the safe robo timing. So basically, with that robo timing, you can stop Banshees if you scout it, which you should, or that early observer. You can build Immortals against those pesky Cyclone openers. I mean, really, it just adapts to everything. It's a good harassment contain option as well. Certainly I'll see some pros invest a lot of chrono boost into the blink and really like power hard with the stalkers initially. If you're sure that you're not going to be attacked, your observer really got that grid of scouting, then you can just pressure. You can send those stalkers forward, and until they get stim or an appropriate amount of cyclones, they're not going to be able to really push out. And speaking of harassment / contain options, it can also be built upon with 2 base all-ins. There are different variations that build off this solid opener. Twilight Council first, for instance, slight difference, but can make a world of difference and turn into a 2 base all-in. Certainly it's something that, for instance, Root Hero will do a lot. Now, the weaknesses. There's honestly not many. The gap between Probe Scout and Observer Scout can be an opportunity for, like, Hellions to slip by, for instance, but it's a very small gap, and most Terran build orders are scouted in time. With a few but powerful units, stopping multiple attacks can be tricky. That's probably the biggest weakness of just like Protoss in general, but I guess specifically this build. The Hellions, if they do go across the map, even if you're prepared for them, the Stalkers just simply don't do enough damage fast enough. So you're gonna almost guaranteed lose a couple of probes unless you wall off, which some pros are doing, but that's a little weird to do, especially if they're gonna do a tank push later on. But you can try it if you would like. So some tips for this build, or Protoss in general I suppose. Build shield batteries if uncertain of Terran's plan. 1 on each mineral line and 1 at the front should help against anything. Banshees, Hellion run by, Cyclone all-ins. I mean, if you know they're going to commit a lot of pressure, build more shield batteries. They cost 100 minerals now, but they're still well worth it if you know that you're going to have to defend. Remember to use surveillance mode on observers to keep them farther out of sight of keen Terrans. So Terrans that are actually looking for the observers, you put them in surveillance mode, they're going to be just like a little bit out of the way. But do keep in mind that surveillance mode now makes a sound, so it's kind of hit or miss. I mean, if they hear it, they might look for it, but not be able to find it because it's just in such a odd, out of the way spot. Chrono can be applied to different things depending on how unsafe you feel. So what I talked about earlier with the strengths, you can put it more into Blink if you want to go for an aggressive attack. You can put it more into the Robo if you want to get observers as fast as possible. Or an Immortal, in a hurry. You can put it into Nexus entirely if you really want to be greedy and just have so many darn probes to transfer over. It's really an open build. And lastly, add an Immortal for extra safety, especially against Cyclone openers. And that'll pretty much get you through most situations. And it's a very solid opener, and these tips and tricks will help you a lot. And of course, if you like this content, then consider following me on this YouTube channel, on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, supporting my Patreon, whatever. And also, go ahead and check out my other videos. Thanks for watching.